Hey guys, it's Val. Today we're going to be doing a nice gentle flow to open up our shoulders. We are going to need a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, you can use a towel, just anything that you can roll up to make a nice little burrito of a blankie. We're going to start with this blanket long ways on our mat. We're going to have a seat on our booty and just kind of bring that blanket in between the shoulder blades. You want to make sure that your head is supported as well as your rib cage, and the rest of your body can just kind of lay out. So if you want more than this, you can roll up more towels, put some blocks under there. You just want to feel a nice opening in the shoulders. Option to cactus the arms and lay the elbows out. Take some nice deep breaths just to help release the back muscles, all the muscles that hold our head up. We want to open up the chest to prevent rounding and putting extra pressure on the muscles of our upper back. So let's take some nice deep breaths here. Feel the rib cage expand, feel the muscles between the ribs open. Find that Ujjayi breath, inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. Start to relax the body. Release any tension you're holding in the shoulders. Notice as you exhale if there's any muscles that you can relax. Always using our exhales to let go and just try to let gravity do the work. We're here for a few more deep breaths, feeling your upper body supported by your blankie. One more deep breath in. And on your exhale, we'll just lengthen the left arm out nice and long overhead and roll onto our left side off of that blanket and come up into a comfortable seat. Sit up on the sit bones if you want to take your blankie and have a seat on that to help kind of sit you a little bit more upright. You can do that. And let's just go ahead and start by taking some nice deep breaths. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach up. And this time we're going to take our right hand out to the side. Left hand is going to grab for the head and just gentle pull over to the shoulder. Keep walking the right fingertips out. Just a gentle help with the left hand. Doesn't have to be a pull. Maybe bring your chin down towards your chest. Get a little additional stretch here. Deep breaths, exhale, relax the shoulders, maybe crawl those fingertips out a little bit more. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Let's take the right hand on that left elbow and gently pull that elbow back. So your left hand can kind of grab for in between your shoulder blades. Try to keep your body upright. And let's take that right hand back down to the floor, reach the left arm up overhead. Option to stay here, maybe come down onto your forearm. Keep that left hip planted. Gaze up at that left bicep. And let's inhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through heart center, and let's switch it out. We're going to walk the left fingertips out. Right hand grabs, gentle pull. Crawl those left fingertips out. Maybe drop the chin. Gentle pull with the right hand. No need to pull too hard. Gentle stretches. Let's rise back up. That left hand's going to grab for that right elbow. Right hand is going to come in between the shoulder blades. Sit up nice and tall. Feel that stretch in the tricep. And then let's go ahead, take that hand down again, reach the right arm up, gaze up at that right bicep, plant that right hip bone down. Let's inhale, rise all the way back up, interlace the hands behind the back, puff up the chest, gaze up at the ceiling. Maybe your hands can plant behind you, open up the chest. And then let's come back through center. So with your hands in a fist, I'm just going to move that fist over to my left. I'm going to tilt my head over to the left. Keep pulling that left shoulder down. And let's drop the chin and then lift the chin. So just kind of rocking your head back and forth. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. Move that fist to the right, head to the right. Same thing. Gentle rocks. If you find a good spot, maybe you hang out there. And we'll come back through center. Squeeze the palms together. Lift up. And then on the exhale, we'll crawl the hands forward, round through the spine. Maybe even take your hands on your knees, round through the mid-back, tuck the chin to the chest. Let's come back to center and we'll find ourselves in a tabletop position. So however you want to get there, you can move your blanket off to the side for now. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's start with some nice, easy, gentle cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze forward, making sure to push your chest through the shoulders rather than just throw your head back. On the exhale, let's round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, push the floor away. And we'll move through following that nice, strong Ujjayi breath. If you want to take any movement that feels organic to your body, maybe some circles with the hips, take whatever you want, but try to keep those hands nice and firm. Arms are nice and straight with a micro bend in the elbow, never locking out any of our joints throughout our practice. Let's take a few more deep breaths here. Find those spaces that really need your attention. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a nice neutral tabletop position. So finish up your last round. We're going to take the right hand beneath the gaze and we're going to reach the left arm up nice and high. On the exhale, let's thread the needle. Take that left hand behind the right wrist. Left shoulder is going to come down. Option for that right arm to reach forward. Or maybe you want to take a half bind. Now I'm facing the opposite direction, but if you really want to get deep into the left shoulder, you can take your left hand and grab for underneath your right arm. So like right in your right armpit, and just give you a little bit of a deeper stretch. Maybe even use that left hand to pull that right shoulder down. Let's take the right hand underneath the right shoulder, and we'll come back into our tabletop position for our second side. Left hand beneath the gaze, right arm reaches up, and we'll thread the needle on this side. Right hand comes down, right shoulder comes down. Option for the left arm to reach forward, and this time you'll be able to see my right hand comes down onto my left armpit, and I use that to pull a little deeper. Kind of like I'm giving myself a little pat on the back. One more deep breath in. And then the left hand can come underneath the shoulder and we'll push ourselves back into our tabletop position. And let's just do some wrist stretches here. So let's take our fingers and turn them towards our toes. And with the fingers facing that direction, option to sit the hips back and open up the wrists. Try to get your fingers evenly placed and make sure that both sides are about even. So make sure one hand's not turned in more than the other. And we'll come forward. And this time we're going to take the back of the hands and put them down towards the ground with the fingers facing the knees. Now this is an extreme wrist stretch and it's taken me a long time to be able to put this much pressure here. So if you need to do one hand at a time, feel free to do that. If you haven't done the other side, go ahead, do that now. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, let's go ahead, release that. Have a seat on the heels and just roll out the wrists. And we'll come into a downward facing dog. So hands plant, tuck the toes under, lift the hips nice and high. Let's pedal out the feet here, bending into one knee and then the other. tailbone lifts, hands plant, shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears, and your elbow creases are shining forward. Let's gaze in beneath the hands and in between the hands and step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Relax the head, relax the jaw. Let's grab for opposite elbows and just ragdoll hang. Feet can be hip width distance apart, maybe a little wider. If you got the elbows, grab for the opposite elbow. Deep breath in, and then let's go ahead, release the hands down. Left hand beneath the gaze, left knee bends, right leg stays straight, right arm reaches up. Keep that right shoulder open, and then we'll switch it out. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up, left knee stays straight, right knee bends. Deep breath in, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine, hands on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms, take a back bend, shine the chest open. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend the knees, bring the belly to the thighs, relax the head, and find a forward fold. Keep trying to squeeze those palms together and let them fall up overhead. Now, if this is difficult for you, you can take a strap or any sort of piece of fabric that you can to kind of give your arms a little bit more length in between them. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale, release the hands down. Inhale to halfway lift, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the hands. Let's step it back into a plank position with the knees down. Lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale into your cobra pose. And on the exhale, we're going to lower all the way down onto the belly. We're going to scooch our body over to the right side of our mat. On the left side of the body, we're going to cactus this arm. Now, this is going to make this a very intense stretch. So if that's too much, arm is going to go out nice and long. Just make sure the wrist and the shoulder is in line with each other and your arm's not back by your hip. Right hand is going to come underneath the shoulder, head's going to rest, and gaze is going to go to the right. Push the floor away and lift the right leg up and over your left. Now, only twist open as much as that left shoulder allows. So if you can only push yourself a little bit away from the floor, it's better that we get that stretch rather than we have that right foot kind of go farther back. Relax the head and breathe here. Deep breath in, and we'll switch it out. Roll all the way back down. Bring the body to the left side of the mat. Find that cactus or that long arm. Gaze is going to go to the left hand underneath the shoulder. Gentle push, and find your depth. So take what's good for you. If we push ourselves and we force ourselves, we're going to end up hurting ourselves, getting frustrated. So honor where your body is at. Everyone starts somewhere. And maybe if you've had an injury, you need to take it extra careful. Deep breath in. And let's come all the way back down. We're going to push ourselves back into that tabletop position and come into a puppy pose. So a little different from child's pose, hips are going to stay stacked on top of the knees, arms are going to reach forward. Option for the forehead to land on the ground if the chest is far away from the ground. If your chest can touch the ground, then your chin can touch the ground. For the sake of my mic, I'm going to bring my forehead to the ground. Try to drop the chest down and lengthen through the arms. Deep breath in, and we'll come back into our tabletop position. We're going to go ahead and extend the right leg out nice and long behind us. Turn that back foot parallel to the back of the mat and reach the right arm up nice and high. Let's take some circles here. So left foot can come behind you, so it's a little kickstand, so you have some space here. We're going to reach the right arm up overhead, maybe even take a back bend here. And then we're going to take some circles with that right arm. Really get the fullest extension here. Try to get all the way back. Open it up, and then we'll go all the way forward. Deep breaths. And then let's go ahead and lift that right leg up nice and high. And we're going to go ahead and step that right foot to the front of the mat. So however many steps it takes for you to get, that's totally cool. Let's go ahead and rise up. Reach the arms up overhead and let the hips sink down. Awesome stretch for the hip flexor. Interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the palms together, and take a little back bend here. So maybe it's a big back bend, maybe it's a little back bend. Just squeeze the shoulder blades together and open up the chest. Let's come forward slightly, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, crescent lunge with that same bind. Hold the fists together, slide it down and bend into that front knee. Gaze up. Let's go ahead and lengthen through that right leg. Left foot's going to turn parallel to the back of the mat. Right leg stays nice and straight. Push the hips to the back of the mat. Keep the arms together. Peel that left shoulder open and find your triangle pose here with the hands behind the back. If this is too much for your core, left hand finds a half bind, right hand lands on the shin. So find whatever variation you'd like here. Keep it nice and open. Start to bend into that front knee, release the bind, reach the right arm up and back, reverse warrior. Left arm rises up and grabs for that right elbow, gentle pull back. Keep bending into that front knee. And let's go ahead and release that bind, reach the right arm forward, side angle. Left arm reaches up. Now pull the left shoulder open. Make sure you're not just pushing your hand back. Gaze up at the left hand, pull the left shoulder open. Option to take the left hand to the low back. And if a full bind is in your practice, feel free to go there. Take a deep breath in. And let's go ahead and reverse our triangle, straighten through the front leg. Maybe keep that half bind with the left hand. Reach it up and back. And then exhale, hands plant. Right foot steps back to join the left, and we'll take our vinyasa flow and meet back in a tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's get to our second side. Extend the left leg nice and long behind you. Plant the toes, turn that right foot out behind you, and then reach the left arm up. Reach the left arm forward, bicep by the ears. Let's take those circles. Nice big circles. Open it up. Feel the stretch forward and backwards. Maybe you have a little more space than I do. So really open it up. Feel every part of that shoulder moving. Beautiful. Let's reach the left arm up. Left leg lifts. We're going to step that left foot to the front of the mat. However many steps you need to get there, we will meet in our crescent moon. Lift the arms up and sink the hips down. Enjoy this little hip stretch. Let's interlace the hands behind the back. Slide that fist down the leg. Gaze up. Open up the chest. Keep squeezing the palms together. Deep breath in. And let's go ahead and tuck the right toes under. Right knee lifts. Slide that right leg back down. I mean the hands down the right leg. You got it. Keep bending into that front knee. Deep breath in. Gaze up. And then we'll go ahead and straighten through that left leg. Right foot turns parallel to the back of the mat. Gaze down at your feet. Make sure your front heel is in line with your back arch. Squeeze the palms together. Push the hips to the back of the mat. Peel the right shoulder open and find your Trikonasana triangle pose with the bind. Again, if it's too much, hand wraps. Bottom hand can rest on the shin, supporting the core. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Release the grip, reach the left arm up and back. Bend the left arm, right arm reaches up, grabs the left elbow, pull back. Bend in that front knee. Deep breath in, lateral bend to the right. And release that left hand down, right arm reaches up. Side angle option for the right hand to come on the low back. If a bind is in your practice, you can go there. But remember, this is a gentle class, so take whatever you need. Let's go ahead And release that. Reverse our triangle, straighten through the left leg. Maybe keep that half wrap with the right hand. And exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Step it back to our plank position. Drop it down onto the knees, lower down. Inhale into your cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips nice and high. Tailbone points upward. Chest comes down towards the floor. Or towards the thighs, rather. Elbow creases shine forward. Palms internally rotate. Shoulders externally rotate. Let's inhale the heels nice and high. Gaze in between the hands. Step or hop to the front of the mat and find a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Rise up. Sink the hips down. Biceps by the ears. We're going to ground down. Actually, let's start with arms. Let's take the right arm underneath the left arm and find our eagle grip. So if this is not possible for you, wrapping underneath, you're just going to grab for opposite shoulders with your right arm underneath your left. So take whatever variation you need. And when you're ready, we're going to ground down into that left foot. Right leg is going to wrap around the left leg. Sink it down nice and low. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze the elbows towards the chest. Back is nice and straight. Keeping the arms exactly where they're at, we're going to rise up and take the right knee with us. Right leg is going to shoot out nice and long behind you. Eagle 3. Right toes point down towards the ground. Find your drishti, find your gaze. And then when you're ready, hands come to heart, but keep that right leg lifted. Maybe take your hands behind you like little airplane wings. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Think about creating a letter T with your body for 3, 2, 1. Gently plant that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Let's straighten through that left leg and find pyramid pose. So right foot is planted, right toes point towards the top right corner of the mat. If that right foot is not planted, step it up. Option for hands to come on the floor or maybe rest on the shin. Getting a little stretch in our hamstring just to make sure that our hips are in the right place to help our entire spine and eventually our head, neck, and shoulders. When you're ready, let's bend into that left hand, plant the hands, left foot, plant the hands, step it back, plank position. Optional vinyasa flow. If you want to keep it on the knees, keep it on the knees. And we'll come back into our downward facing dog. Find those nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, let's gaze in between the hands, step or hop to the front of the mat and find a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, rise up, biceps by the ears. And we'll head straight into our eagle. But first, let's gaze down at our toes. Make sure you can see all 10. If you can't, sit the hips back. Left arm is going to wrap underneath the right, or maybe you grab for opposite opposite shoulders. Pull the elbows towards the chest, ground into the right foot, left leg lifts and wraps. Maybe you take a little kickstand with the left toes. Maybe you can get a full wrap. Wherever you're at, squeeze everything together. Back is nice and straight. Upper body stays where it's at. Start to lengthen, lift that left leg up, and kick it nice and long behind you. Find that drishti, find that gaze. Focus your attention on one space that's not moving. Keep that left leg lifted. Hands come in prayer or maybe airplane arms. For 3, 2, pyramid pose. Hands come down, left foot plants firmly. Left toes point to the top left corner of the mat. Chest, head comes down towards the thigh. Again, working into a little bit of the hips. We have to work a whole body here with an emphasis on the shoulders and neck. 2 more deep breaths. Keep pulling that right hip back. And when you're ready, we'll plant the hands, step the right foot back to join the left. Optional vinyasa flow on the knees or on the toes. And let's come back and sit into a child's pose. Hips come down. Forehead rests down on the mat. Hands reach forward. If you want to get a little bit deeper, you can integrate the palms together. One more deep breath in. And on your exhale, let's go ahead and rise up. And we're going to go ahead and walk ourselves out onto our belly. We're going to bend the right leg, reach back for the inside of the right foot with the right hand. If you can't grab a hold of that foot, just energetically reach back. And we're going to kick into the hand. Now, left hand is there for support. Open it up. Use that foot to kind of pull your shoulder back. Deep breath in. Let's lower down and switch it out. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Bend the left hand for the inside of the left foot. Put the right hand, kick into the left foot or into the left hand. Pull the shoulder back. Lower all the way down. Take both hands. Grab for the outside of your feet this time. Take a deep breath in. Kick into your hands and lift. Big chest opener for 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower all the way back down. Rise back up, and we're just going to make our way onto our seat. Make sure that your blanket is handy. Legs are going to go out nice and long in front of us. We're going to keep the right knee in, left leg stays out nice and long. Sit up nice and tall. Left hand is going to come on the right knee. Now, if this feels fine for you, you can always take the right foot to the outside of the left leg, but it's not necessary. Right hand is going to come behind the hips, puff up the chest. Start to twist with your torso. Now, before even looking over your right shoulder, use all your air out to twist a little deeper. And when you've reached that fullest expression, then gaze over the right shoulder. Option to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and twist even deeper. Twisting through the upper body for 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, switch it out. Right leg long, left leg in. Hug it in nice and tight. Left hand supports the back. Nice and tall, right hand on the left knee. Twist as much as possible. Use that left arm to lift the spine. Right elbow can come to the outside of the left knee and twist a little deeper for 3. Use your exhales to twist even more for 2. And 1. Let's come back to center. We are going to take our blanket one more time, and we're going to roll it up in that same little burrito. This time we're going to drop it horizontal on our mat, and we're going to put this space right underneath where our shoulder blades end. So for ladies, right where your bra strap goes, and for guys, just right underneath those shoulder blades. We're going to lay back on the blanket. Arms are going to go up overhead. You can extend them up long overhead, or maybe cactus the arms again here. Just a gentle opening for our thoracic spine. A lot of the times we hunch over, looking at our phone, driving, whatever it might be, we round. So wherever that space is where you feel your back bend is right where you want that to be, just so we can take a little relief off of the shoulders, as well as the neck. Take deep breaths here. Really feel the fascia stretching, the muscles stretching. And then we'll go ahead and relax. When you're ready, right arm is going to extend long. We're going to just roll off of our blanket and come back up to a seat. The one final thing we're going to do is just a nice support for our neck. A lot of the times when we sleep, we think that we need a nice big pillow, but really all we need is some support for our neck. So we're going to roll up this little blanket here. And this part is going to support the curve of my neck. This part is going to support my skull. So I'm just going to take my neck right where that curve is and put it right underneath that cervical curve. Let the head just kind of hang. So almost like you're wearing a neck pillow, like when you go on a plane. Option to bring the soles of the feet together if you really want to get into the hips here. And then arms can go out nice and long. Now, this is a really great rest for your neck. So we're going to hang out here, and this is where we are going to end class. So I highly encourage you to stay here, enjoy your Shavasana in this final moments here, and just give your neck a nice little break. And remember that this is always here for you if you feel tension in your spine or your neck or your shoulders, that these resting postures are really awesome. So with that, I will leave you here. Thank you for joining me. Namaste, yogis.